In 1809, the state of New York granted Robert R. Livingston and Robert Fulton exclusive privileges to operate their boats in any waters within the jurisdiction of the state for 20 years. After 6 years of operation, Aaron Ogden purchased this very license in 1815, and so began a new steamboat service.
Aaron Ogden and Thomas Gibbons are battling over steamboat rights in New York in 1824.
Mr. Ogden, I see you filed a complaint against Mr. Gibbons.
In your complaint, you state that the defendant should be restricted from operating in New York waters since you yourself have a state license issued by Robert Livingston and Robert Fulton in 1809.
Mr. Gibbons makes a counter-argument stating that he has the rights to the routes based on the Coasting Act of 1793. Ogden, you seek an injunction against Gibbons, is that correct?
Let's hear your statement then.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to explain my case from the very beginning. You see, I was issued a state license.
Here's your state license for the operation of a steamboat service, which has been reissued to you upon its purchase from its prior owners, one Mr. Robert Fulton and another Robert Livingston.
Thank you, kind sir.
Oh, mighty day to you, Mr. Ogden. What have you there?
Well, I have just acquired myself a license to operate a steamboat service across the Hudson River.
Well, do you have a steamboat to operate?
I don't at the moment, however, I plan on getting one soon.
Well, you're in luck because I have just the steamboat you are looking for.
Really?
Yes.
Very well then, let's do business together.
Wow.
So our partnership began, and it seemed to be going swimmingly, until one day, Gibbons approached me in this unruly manner.
Good evening, Mr. Ogden. I have some news to share with you.
Now, I haven't all the time in the world. What have you to say for yourself?
After some careful thought and deliberation, I've decided to take this business on as my own and will be operating my own ship in the Hudson under the Coasting Act of 1793, which regulates trade between ports.
And what makes you think that you have the capabilities to operate without my guidance?
Oh, Mr. Ogden, heed my warning. I will sink your monopoly. Remember, it was I who gave you my business with my boat.
Be gone with you, you fool. You can't operate without this, your state license.
We will see about the legal matters in court.
Bah humbug.
Oh, you spitting shrew, what are you doing in these here waters?
You son of a sow, these are my waters by the Coasting Act of 1793. You get out!
No, you vile shrew, you know that the courts will rule in my favor. You illegal.
No.
All rise. In the presence of the flag of our country, emblem of our Constitution, and remember the principles for which they stand. Please be seated. Come to order.
The Supremacy Clause reads, "This Constitution and the laws of the United States, which shall be made in pursuance thereof, and all treaties made or which shall be made under the authority of the United States shall be the supreme law of the land, and the judges in every state shall be bound thereby, anything in the Constitution or law or of any state to the contrary notwithstanding." Hence, Daniel Webster, attorney for Mr. Gibbons, took this matter to the Supreme Court.
After hearing Ogden's statement, is there anything you would like to say, Mr. Gibbons?
Yes. You see, Your Honor, Article 1, Section 8, Clause 3, or the Commerce Clause, reads, "To regulate commerce within foreign nations, among several states, and with the Indian tribes." Thus, the license granted to me by the Coasting Act of 1793 takes precedence over the act granted by the state of New York to Mr. Ogden.
After hearing both statements, I will take time to consider both sides and give you a decision within a month's time. Court adjourned. Upon looking at the facts of the case, I rule that the Federal Coasting Act of 1793 outweighs the rights granted to Mr. Ogden by the state of New York.
Yes.
At last, the court case has come to the end. After the month's time, the Supreme Court's ruling ended the monopoly of the New York legislature granted for steamboat navigation, thereby favoring Gibbons.
The Supreme Court based their ruling on the portion of the Commerce Clause, which reads commerce among the several states. They effectively concluded that among refers to intermingling with the commerce of the states, and regulation includes the interior of the states and does not stop at the boundaries between states. Thus, Congress can pass any law regarding commerce so long as the regulated commerce is not entirely occurring within one single state.